Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of That Green Vegans podcast. I'm Kelly. Hi. So, by the title of this podcast, it's Give 'em a Burger. I know the titles be kind of crazy, but it's like I just really want to catch the essence, of what I'm about to speak about. And this comes from a story. Because I love a story. This is my real life. This is my real life. I was at work, right? And I'm just, doing my work. I love what I do. I love what I do. My job sometimes is just pressing because not like some people where they just have one thing to do. I have literally 50 things to do, right? My workload is so heavy. Like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. Like my neck is so strong because I have so much stuff weighing on my shoulders. That part. So anyway, this particular day, I was just like shift changing. Boop, boop, boop. I mean, everywhere I went, I had to like change and I had to shift and things were, but that's another day for another time. So anyway, I'm walking and there was this particular child in crisis, right? And so it was, I'm not going to go into it because, HIPAA and everything like that. But anyway, I got the child to, listen, and he was just exploding, right? And I guess for me, I have a lot of patience because if you listen to one of my podcasts, I talked about how I used to work for a facility working with SED children, severely emotionally disturbed children. So, in that role, you really you get a different grasp of like empathy, right, for children because you know their background, and even though they're like screaming and yelling and hollering and throwing things and breaking things and stuff like that, it's a reason why. These are little babies. You talk about 3, 4, and 5-year-olds who have just been through the most horrendous stuff, and their little brains are in survival mode. That's why sometimes with people, I kind of give them second, third, fourth chances because, I don't know about their childhood. And, well, I'll talk about that in another podcast, but back to the story. So this kid was just like, was talking to me, me. You know what? They should call me the kid whisperer. Because they'll be like, can you go talk to Miss Kelly? Can you go talk to this child? Say less. So anyway, the child was like, I said, what's your problem? Just, I keep it a buck. I keep it real. That's why they respect me. He's like, I want a burger. I said, you want a burger? It is a song back in the day. I used to love it. He said, if you want a burger, eat a burger. If you want some fries, eat some fries. Right? So I said, let's go get a burger. He went from a 25 down to like a 0. Because you know me, I get them down. I said, go pick up the chair. So because he knocked down the chair. He picked up the chair. He started walking me, right? And they were like, where are you going? I said, I'm about to take him to get a burger. First of all, let me just tell you something. When you talk about people, I'm her. Wherever I go, wherever I'm at, I'm her. No matter what position I'm in, kind of thing. Like sometimes I have to wheel it back because, people are intimidated by the light, the shine. And I will blind some people. So anyway, we're walking, we go, I go to the place and I go, everybody's already finished eating and whatever. There's tons of food. I go, he needs a burger. Well, he already had 2 different kind of meals. I said, excuse me. She goes, well, he wanted the pot stickers and noodles. And then he got that and then he didn't want it. So then the other teacher came and said, okay, he wants the yogurt and he got the yogurt and then he didn't want that. And now he wants a burger. Now, mind you, there's three choices. You can either have the pot stickers and noodles, you can have the yogurt, or the burger, right? It ain't like this thing is going to be going on for days. It's three choices. He's already gone through two, and he wants the hamburger. She's like, no. I said, look, give him a burger. Just give him the burger. Well, because remember, if you listen to that now, egos. Bruh, are you the burger police? Do we have like a limited supply of burgers that, if you give him this burger, the whole structure of this facility gonna crash to the ground? No. Give him the burger. I said, look, I'll pay for the burger. Just give it to him. And she went, because I'm an administrator. I'm an administrator. Now, I don't make a lot of money, but I got some weight. I got some power behind me. It's a lot in the title. So she's kind of fussing underneath her breath. I'm like, look, you and that little hairnet, you just go and get him a burger. I don't want to hear you. I don't hear the commentary behind it. So he gets a burger and she goes, next time what is it? Adults. But then Kelly breathed. Who knows the trauma that this person went through, right? She go, I have to keep accountable. I said, okay, fine. Write me down. Like, I'll take responsibility for it. Now, me and you both know I don't know, maybe they have 200 some burgers, 300 some burgers. Them kids ain't eating them burgers. You have to figure, say you have, I'm just making 100. I'm going to make it easy. So say you have 100 kids, right? So in their minds, they're going to say, okay, well, we're going to have 100 burgers because we have 100 kids that we need to feed. Right now, even though they have other options, they still have to have like equal amounts because they just, kind of situation. A lot of kids bring their own lunch, right? Because the kids always say, I hate lunch. I hate lunches. You know what? I can't even front because now that's made me go back to when I was in middle school. I hated them lunches. I don't know if I hated the lunches. It's just something about the lunch. So I'm spoiled. Spoiled. So I used to be like, mommy, I don't want to eat their lunch. And she'd be like, oh, Dania, what do you want me to, make you lunches and stuff? And then I was like, okay. So my mom used to make me these lit lunches, right? They were really, really nice. But a lot of times the lunches were like, you have to heat them up. And so I could go inside of the, what do you call it? Inside of the teacher's lounge. Because they didn't have a microwave. They didn't have a microwave with in the cafeteria. So I would have permission to go into the teacher's lounge. Ooh, I heard some stuff up in there. And they didn't care. Like the teachers was like, oh, that's just Kelly. Whatever. And they just keep talking. They was smoking cigarettes. It was a vibe. The teacher room was it was a vibe. Oh, I gotta tell you the time that I got suspended on campus suspension, but I'll share with you that a different time. But anyway, back to the story. So we go back into the office. He got his burger. He's happy. But it was crazy because people were like talking, right? It's like he got a burger. He's fine. Why she's giving him his way? It's a burger. It's a burger. Like I said before, like with the pencils. What's the point? What's the problem? Right? So we go in office. He goes, I want to eat outside. I said, okay. So I asked the person, I said, hey, she's like, no, he has to eat inside the thing. Now, I don't want to take away authority from, certain people and stuff. So I said, okay, that's cool. If he has to go and eat in there. And then I go, look, maybe, I said, is it just possible that maybe he could just go on the green tables and eat it and then we'll come back, right? And he was like, oh, I want to play. And so she goes, well, no, he has to wait for this. It was one particular person he has to wait for. He has to wait for this particular person. And I said, okay. And I'm thinking okay, this kid about to get triggered. I see his little face, little eye twitching, and he was little, like he came to like my knees. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but he little. But he powerful, right? Little mighty, like eat one of them ghost peppers. You see, oh, it's a ghost pepper. You put that in your mouth. I've seen the biggest men cried like a baby over them damn ghost peppers. So anyway, he like a, that's what I should name the kids. Ghost peppers. So she see him, he was being calm with me, and she was like, is it possible that you can sit with him and while he eats his lunch? I'm like, okay. She's like, and if he's fine afterwards, let him play. I was like, is that a deal? She's like, yeah. I said, thank you. Because I always want to like teach kids, about gratitude stuff. So for a very young age, you always have kids say, thank you. It's not a forced thing. It's teaching them, about, humility and gratitude and stuff like that. So he said, thank you. We go out, he's eating, he's cool. Who was that kid? 10 minutes ago that was clinging on to the bars, screaming and hollering. And this was another child that they were like, be careful. I ain't gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? Like something might be wrong with him, but he ain't stupid. No. But he was doing really good, and he was talking, and I don't know, he was telling me something. And I'm just listening. He's eating his little thing. And he's like, excuse me, can you open up my packet? And it was crazy because when I was trying to get him up out of there, right? So we didn't get nothing to drink. We didn't get the, silverware, nothing. So I just like, we got a burger. I'm surprised I got the burger, but let's just go. So he's out there kind of like a bear, right? He only got is a tray with a burger. And he didn't even want the salad. He come with like a little tray of like tomatoes and lettuce. He didn't even want that, so I ended up like tossing. I'm like, I'm not, we ain't got time for that. Just whatever. So it's just this plain like cheeseburger with ketchup and mustard. And I think he had an orange. And so I said, you want me to open your orange? He said, no, I'm gonna take it home. I was like, okay, cool. I'm like that too. I ain't gonna lie. Like when I go to a buffet or something and they be like an orange or an apple, I will, smooth go in my pocket or purse. Everybody just need a little something. Everybody need a little something. Oh, and then I found out something really disturbing, right? So yes, this is one of the kids that's going to be on my radar. But anyway, he's cool. So I was like, okay, straight. I went, cause we were like outside and he had little ketchup on his fingers. I said, let me go get some. I went to the bathroom, got some toilet paper because that was the closest thing I had. They didn't have paper towels. They don't have paper towels now. They just got the air blowers. They put air blowers because kids were wet and they would put it on the ceiling, paper towels. But you could do a toilet paper. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Give him little pieces of toilet paper. I'm like, here, wipe your fingers. Because I didn't want him to be triggered. You know what I'm saying? Like he's coming all the way down. He's doing good, whatever. So he eats his little burger. I said, you ready to go play? He's like, yeah. I said, okay, you still got 5 minutes. So, go have fun. I said, go throw your stuff away. He's cool. So I come back, into the school. And there was another situation. Kid wilding, screaming. I just went the opposite direction. It was too much. I had so much to do and I was just, I just had a lot of work to do, right? The original reason why I came out of my office, because, I really leave my office. Well, just now, because it's a lot of stuff going on. Because every time I leave, it's an adventure. Something always happens. I always get sucked into somebody's, kind of drama thing, right? So anyway, I do what I got to do. And then I said, let me check in I want to check in with one of the staff. And so I asked the staff person, I was like, what happened? And they were like, I don't know. I didn't, I wasn't, they just seen the aftermath of the kid, like, just kind of wilding, whatever. I say all this to say, what was a big deal to give the kid a burger? It's ego. We just talked about this. I wish the people that need to hear these messages was able to hear these messages, because it's like, why are you tripping? Oh, okay. I'm going to say something because, it's always an off topic kind of thing. So then later that day, right? I'm gonna go back to the burger, but this is something that kind of talks about it, like on topic, off topic. I had a meeting, right? And so it's like I have to facilitate multiple meetings. Crazy, just it's crazy. It's just a lot. So anyway, I had this particular meeting that I have to facilitate every week. And it has a lot of it has like administrator, parents, community people. It's just a lot of people involved. So one of the administrators, not really my boss, but kind of, but yeah. So anyway, they was a part of this particular meeting. And so, I did my meeting. So then after they're like, wow, they have an agenda. Look, I said, I don't roll like that. We fluid over here. We fluid gender. Like the bathrooms in freaking Southern California. I'm very organic, right? Now I ain't going in there just like, oh, I usually will have a, it's funny because if you see my schedule, right? It's just kind of like, it looks like chicken scratch. If to the naked eye, you might think it's, Japanese, but for me, I'm very creative. And I remember somebody was watching my notes and they said, you know what, you're highly intelligent. I said, how'd you know? They said, by the way you write. And it's like that. The way I write is how my brain is. This is all over the place, right? So I told him, I was like, this is how I work. This is how I run my meetings. You run your meetings the way you want to run your meetings. I run my meetings the way I want to run my meetings. Let me tell you something. This has got me to where I am in life. And it works, But I think sometimes people, they just, I don't know, they're very just like ABC. Me, nah, I'm like A, Z, Q, W, like I'm all over the place, right? Because I'm all about the organics. Right? But that kind of reminded me of how certain people work. They just don't want to bend. They don't want to look outside the box. I stay outside the box. I literally have one foot in the box, but I'm hanging. I'm hanging out the box because you just never know. If you always stay in a box, you don't see, everything around and you just might miss out. Right. So anyway, I'm like, why do you care? Like, why do you care how I run my meetings? If I'm running my meetings and everybody's getting what they need and everybody love it and everybody love me and then, in the story. Stop being so freaking stiff and frigid. Just come on, just breathe and just flow. Let me tell you something. I heard this really good. It was, I think it's called Carl. His name is Carl June. He's like this theorist, right? And I remember he was just saying that a river has a destination, right? And even though it might shift, it never forgets its destination. It is so true. A river constantly goes and its path turns and it just goes. It goes with whatever is in its path. It goes around, over. It is what it is. But a lot of people don't think like that. They're just so like, but you know what? Those people they're miserable. They are miserable. Let me tell you, I would say 90% of say you're cooking, right? Okay, it's a recipe. Sometimes recipes go great. Sometimes they don't go great, but it's up to you to fix it. So maybe it needs a little bit more salt. Oh, I think it needs a little more. Maybe it needs some paprika. You just go with it. And that's the kind of person I am, right? So anyway, back to the burger. These people are so rigid and so like boom, 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 boom. This is one person. And see, we go back to that mindset that, well, if you do it for one person, you're going to do it for everybody. Well, maybe we need to do it for everybody. Maybe your way don't work. Look, I'm the kind of person I feel like, okay, let's try it. Look, throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, right? And let's go with that because that works. It's proven. But no, some people with their egos, they would sit up there and they would constantly be like, we got to do it this way. And we've done it this way for 50 billion times, and 50 billion times it don't work. You know what? Stop being so rigid. Just kind of look at the situation and say like, wait, this is not working for me. And that goes with everything. It goes with relationships. It goes with jobs. Everything. You can put this with everything. Even something as little as food. Right? I'll never forget. I bought this, I don't know, it was a box of something. And I really liked it. And I ate it. And it's like, oh, it don't taste good. Do you know what my silly ass did? I bought it again. And guess what? It still didn't taste right. Now, what if I act like that administrator and just kept buying it? What's the point? What's the point of keep buying it? You know? But it's just like your mind is just so set, it's almost like having, like when you have a screw, when you have a screw and it's worn and, you put the screwdriver in, but it's stripped and you just keep going in circles. That's what a lot of people are going through in life. They're just stripped. You know what? Even with that situation, and I gave that kid a burger. Do you know how many extra burgers they had to give out that day? You know how many burgers they threw away that day? You have to think outside the box. And like I said in my last podcast, sometimes you just got to be like, okay, something is wrong with this person. And you know what? I've learned so much from a dear friend of mine by them sharing it, because I look at myself and how I move in life and like, wow, okay, I see I can do better. Okay, I see what things that like I was just so set in doing, right? It's not even worth it. I woke up this morning. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I woke up this morning. What a gift. How can you be miserable and sad? You woke up this morning. Focus on the things that are important. I can breathe. I remember there was a time where I could not breathe. I was all sick and congested and I had to breathe through my mouth and I had a headache and my body was aching. I sit right now and I'm just so grateful. Think about the things that are important. And when things are kind of like, wiggly woggly, think about that burger. You know what, how big of a deal is, or how is it going to impact you to not argue with somebody? Well, you said blue, 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 blue. Just stop, breathe and think. Give them the burger. It's just a burger. How does that affect you? That's all I have to say today. And if you stuck around this long, I appreciate you. And if no one's told you today that they love you, I love you. Mwah. Now go out there and be what? Great. Bye.